Okay. So these are the Senate confirmation hearings of Russell Vought, or Vote, Vought. A lot of them are saying the name differently, so I don't know which one it is. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, although the Republican Party seems to not care about how they pronounce people's names. I'm gonna at least be respectful and say I don't know how it's pronounced because people are pronouncing it differently, but it is Vought. Senator Kaine is interviewing him, right? Because at a Senate confirmation hearing, senators get to ask questions about what you plan to do if you are confirmed to get the position, right? To be in Donald Trump's cabinet. Senator Kaine from Virginia always seems to go so crazy in these moments. And I think you guys need to pay attention to it. And if you're unaware, Senate confirmation hearing, real brief, it's basically a job interview to be able to go from a nominee from the president to a person that has a job interview, right, with the Senate. And then the Senate votes, and then they confirm you, and then you become confirmed, and you become the person in the cabinet. That's all it is. But yeah, just listen to how my man, that's not him, but how Senator Kaine puts the torch.
Give them checks or they shouldn't vote either.
He puts the torch
So, Senator Kaine.
to everybody. Let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations on the nomination, Mr. Vought. I want to go back to the comment that Senator
Vought.
Warner read to you. There's 140,000 federal employees in Virginia. And you gave a speech that got a lot of attention when you said, we want bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. When they wake up in the morning, we want them to not want to go to work because they are increasingly viewed as the villains. Now, I pay attention to the way people say things because there's a million ways you can make a point.
Right.
And the way you choose to make a point tells you something about the person. There's a wonderful, since I had an Old Testament reference over there, I'll go to a New Testament one, Luke 6:45. From the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Wow.
We want people to be traumatized. We want people to be traumatized. I've heard a million people in this room give speeches about we want to cut the budget, we want to reduce federal spending, want to deal with the deficit, but I haven't heard anybody give a gleeful speech about traumatizing the federal workforce. You don't want federal air traffic controllers going to the airport traumatized, do you, Mr. Vought?
No, Senator.
You don't want the people inspecting our food, our medicine, our infant formula as federal. You don't want them to go to work traumatized, do you?
No, Senator.
You don't
nor
want the
have I said
people
that.
interdicting drugs at the border. You don't want them going to work traumatized, do you?
No, Senator.
And you don't want people who are working for you at the OMB, who many people would think, well, they're in the White House, they must be. You don't want them traumatized, do
No,
you?
Senator. Thank you for expanding on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I felt like I had to, because I got 140,000 people, and most of them have families, and they're trying to do a good job. Was your comment about people being traumatized just focused on the federal workforce, or was it more broadly about state employees and local government employees too?
Senator, it was about the weaponized bureaucracy that
I'm
unfortunately...
going to get to weaponized in a minute, but you were talking about the federal workforce.
I was
So you
talking
weren't-
about the bureaucracy that I experienced and that have...
at the federal level.
At the federal level.
You were not talking about state
I can't
employees.
speak. I have no experience with the state.
You were not talking about local employees.
Was not.
Your mother was a public school teacher, correct?
Your mother.
Yes, Senator.
So you were talking about you want the federal workforce to be traumatized.
Bureaucracies.
Yo, that's crazy. To even, all right, let's keep it real. To say that you want anyone traumatized is disqualifying, to say the least. Yeah, that's crazy. Like just the idea of wanting to traumatize people is crazy. But we're gonna keep going though.
I like a lot of presidents. I'm a Lincoln fan. Are you a Lincoln fan?
Yes, Senator.
Lincoln spoke to a nation at war, and he said, with malice towards none and charity towards all. And he was saying that to the North and the South. He didn't say, we want you to be traumatized.
Crazy.
He was a bridge builder and a unifier, and that's what public servants should be they shouldn't gleefully be wishing trauma on people who are trying to serve their fellow man. I want to get to woke and weaponized. You were the president of the Center for Renewing America, and the think tank produced a 2023 budget proposal calling a commitment to end woke and weaponized government. Do you remember that?
Yes, Senator.
And that's the correct title?
Yes, Senator.
All right. So we're going to get into this because it's important. I think you guys are not paying attention to it. I got to bring it to you. I got to make sure you're aware. What do they mean when they say they want to get rid of woke and weaponized? Especially when, yeah, let's just get into it because this sounds crazy to me. Sounds crazy.
It's 104 pages of details to end woke and weaponized government, and it proposes deep cuts to the SNAP program. Is providing nutrition assistance to low-income kids woke and weaponized?
Senator, I'm not here to talk about the budget that the center put out. I'm here on behalf of the president.
Yeah, but you just said
you here to talk about whatever we want to talk about. This is a job interview, and you want the job. So answer the question or you don't get the vote. See, I don't understand. So it's like the audacity of the dude, right? The audacity is letting you know that there's people that already, like, he already got people's votes. Straight like that. He already has people's vote. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't be talking crazy. Let's just keep going.
did that. I want to know what's woke and weaponized about providing food assistance to low-income kids.
Well, again, I'm not here on behalf of my center, on behalf of the president.
I know that, but this is your work product. I mean, you can say it's not woke and weaponized, or you can tell me why it's woke and weaponized. I don't think SNAP programs or benefits for kids are woke and weaponized. You agree with me?
When we refer to the federal government being weaponized, we're referring to bureaucracies that
Okay, so
continue.
you're not in, you didn't include SNAP, you proposed to cut SNAP, but you're not saying it's woke and weaponized.
I am not going to answer questions about the Center for Renewing
You
America's
propose
products.
deep cuts to Pell Grants. Is helping kids pay for college and helping their families, is that woke and weaponized?
Yes.
Again, I'm not here to defend the Center for Renewing
I
America's
get it
budget.
that you're not here to defend that work product, and I can understand why. You propose deep cuts to Medicaid for millions of low-income families. Why is that woke and weaponized?
You know why?
Propose undermining health insurance. Why is that woke and weaponized?
You know
Eliminating tenant-based rental assistance. Why is that woke and weaponized?
We know why.
Eliminating the low-income housing energy assistance program. This was all in your document about ending woke and weaponized government. Okay, let's see. We want to traumatize federal employees, and then we want to take all these programs that help everyday people who are struggling and cut them because they're woke and weaponized. Those are your words, not mine. From the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. I yield back.
Yeah. So woke and weaponized just means black. It just means black. Like if you black and brown and you are living in, like, you're struggling, you're like lower to middle class, anywhere there, living in poverty even, like, we got to get rid of the programs that take care of you. That's what they're saying. That's what happened last time. So, I mean, pay attention. You got to pay attention to what's going on. There's people actually fighting for you. There's people out there that's actually fighting for you. You need to have their back so that they can have your back. That's what government's about. I yield my time.